Hello friends, welcome to our second episode of our data cleaning activities. And this week we are looking at another dataset, and I have used a dataset that comes with the tidyr package. So, like we saw in the previous episode, when you want to access datasets within certain packages, you first have to load that particular package. And in our case, we are interested in a dataset coming from tidyr. So using the library function, we load in the tidyr package. Next, you're going to want to identify what datasets are in the tidyr package. And to do that, you use the data function, passing in the argument package set to tidyr, the name of the package. So from here, you can clearly see the listed datasets within the tidyr. You have billboard, CMS underscore patient underscore care, CMS underscore patient underscore experience, construction, fish underscore encounters, household population, religion underscore income, Smith's table 1, and others. So for this particular exercise, I chose to work with the CMS underscore patient underscore care dataset. So let's return to. So once you have chosen a dataset out of the various datasets present in the package, you have to load it into the R environment. And therefore, you use the function data, passing in the name of the dataset you're interested in, enclosed within double quotes. So let's run this. You see it appearing in the global environment. Next, I decided to save this dataset I've just brought in using the CMS. You can use any naming that is comfortable with you. So when we run this, we have our CMS appearing in the global environment. So as you can see from here, the dataset consists of 252 observations, that is our rows, and 5 variables, our columns. To find out the information about this particular dataset, you type a question mark and the name of the dataset. And when we run this, it offers you the information in this window, the help window. So here they've provided information on, let me expand this a bit. They've provided us with information on 2 datasets. What we are interested in is the CMS underscore patient underscore care. So let's continue scrolling down and see what we have. So as you can see, the CMS underscore patient underscore care is a data frame with 252 observations and 5 variables. And then they list the different variables within that particular dataset. Okay. Next, you may be interested in looking at the first few observations of your dataset or table. We use the head function, passing in the dataset. Now let's come to our console. So as you can see, it has given us the first 6 rows or observations. So we have CCN, which is more like ID numbers, facility name, measure abbreviated. I may be talking things that are out of place. Let's find what that means. Measure ABRR, abbreviated measurement title, suitable for use as variable name. Okay, so we have that. There's many more. A better alternative could be for you to actually view the table itself using the view function. You pass in CMS. If we run this, hold on, it doesn't run. If we run that, we have CCN, facility name, measure abbreviated, score, and type. Those are the 5 variables that we are working with. Okay, now let's try and find out the structure of this dataset. What are the different data types that we have? So for our data cleaning tasks, we are going to use these 3 packages. So when we run this, we'll load them into our next. We check for the data structure using a glimpse function that comes with dplyr and pass in CMS. So back to our console, let's have a look. So we're having CCN as character, facility name as character, measure abbreviated as character, and then type as character as well. Now, all these that R is reading as character should be treated as categorical variables, and categorical variables in R are referred to as factors. So we need to convert these to factors. So that later on when you're doing your analysis, doing your visualization, it's actually being treated as factors. So to begin with, let's convert facility name, measure abbreviated, and type. We're using the as.factor function. We pass in the variable of interest that we want to do the conversion on, and then we save it back to its original name. So we run these, we should be able to have our variables appearing as factor. Let's run this again and look at, great. As you can see, they are now saved as factor. So next, we can try and look for missing values within our dataset. And for that, we can use the any.na function passing in the dataset. Next, you can do a summary or a count for the NA values in each of the columns or variables using the call sums function, passing in is.na function, and within that you enter the dataset of interest CMS. So when we run this and have a look at the summary, we see that score is the only variable with NA value, and luckily enough it has just one variable that is missing. So in the previous video I covered a number of techniques that you can use to fill in to handle missing values. So I won't go over them again. If you are interested in that, you can check out that previous video. So here I've chosen to replace the missing value with the median of score, or the median score. So to calculate median, use the median function. You pass in the variable of interest, score, and then we tell it to calculate without the NA by setting NA.remove to true. Okay, when we run this, we see that our median is 100. So next you replace the NA value in question with the median value you've just calculated. So when we have our data set CMS, and then we use the function, this pipe operator, you just say and then. So and then replace underscore NA, passing in the arguments list, I beg your pardon, passing in the function list, and then you pass in the score variable set to 100, and this should be able to replace the missing value. So when we check for the missing value again, let's see, NA, CMS, it was score, should be giving us false. Great. So this is good news. It means that our NA value has been successfully replaced with 100, which is the median. Next, when you look at the data set, you can see that facility name is capitalized, measure abbreviated is in lowercase, and then the type is in lowercase as well. Sometimes you want to have some sense of uniformity when presenting your data. So for this particular case, I've chosen to change the facility name and measure abbreviated to title case. And then for type, I decided to go with sentence case. So when I run all of this, let's first run the title case. Title case is supposed to change the setting of each of the words and let them have capitals, or it capitalizes the very first letter of each word. And then when you're looking at sentence case, it capitalizes the very first. Maybe let's first look at the output of that so that you know what has happened. Let's view. So we have CMS. Run that. So you can see facility name has been changed from the capitals to title case, where each letter of the words are capitalized. Next, we want to change the type from lowercase, is it? Let's check. Yeah, from lowercase to sentence case. So we use str string to sentence, passing in our variable of interest. So let's run that and have a look at the data again. Type should now, it's now appearing in sentence case. Okay, next and the last item on our list for data cleaning this week is replacing strings. So we are having a variable measure abbreviated, whereby that the values are saved using underscores, and I'm interested in replacing these underscores and having it use spaces instead. So I use the function structure replace all that comes from the stringr package, and into the function you pass in the variable of interest, the pattern to match or to look for, and then what to replace it with. So in this case we are looking for underscore, and then we are replacing it with space. So when we run this and take a look at our data set again, we are having spaces. Right? Then next, from my data set, this measure abbreviated, when you look at the values, there is treat pref. All the other values are fully spelled out except for that, and you can see that clearly when you table the value that we have CMS $sign measure abbreviated. So from here you see that all these values are spelled out fully except for treat pref. So you want to replace this with treatment preference. So you follow the same procedure as before. Let's first expand this. So you have str underscore replace underscore all, passing in the variable of interest, the value to look for or to match, and then lastly the value that you want to replace it with, and in this case we are replacing it with treatment preference. So say treatment preference, we run that. When we table again, we should be having our treatment preference. Hold on, something not right. Treat pref Oh, this is capital, supposed to be proof. And then when we run this, it should now work. Yes. So we now have the value registered as treatment preference. So R sometimes can be case sensitive. So just by this being a capital instead of a small p, there was no manipulation made, and that's why I had to change it to small p before it can actually go ahead to manipulate the data. So yeah, that wraps up our data cleaning for this week. I hope you enjoyed your learning. I did. Please go ahead and practice. And if you liked whatever it is that you've watched, please support whatever it is that I am doing to share with you this knowledge. Give me a like, comment on what your outcome was when you tried out, and any areas that you think I may improve. It will be of great help to me. I hope you have a lovely week, and yes, see you next time.